Hello, I'm so happy I got a hold of you, and the wait is over. I have finally gotten to play Returnal. Whole reason why I wanted a PS5, and while I won't get into was the PS5 worth it or not, this game most certainly is. Now, it's a roguelike game. Every run is different, and I spoke about a game called Furi a few years ago that I've heard this game is like a big budget 3D version of it. And it definitely is. It definitely is. It has the same feel. The combat is fast and frenetic. There's not as much sword play in this. You do eventually get a melee weapon, but I don't really find it all that useful. There's several different guns. There's tons of different loadouts. And it is difficult. It is difficult. Now, it's not nearly as hard as, say, something like Elden Ring, because when you hit buttons in this game, it actually reacts instead of taking that half second to register what you did, and you can cancel motions and all that good stuff. And it's a little discouraging, though, because you can play for a while, have a horrible run after a horrible run after a horrible run, finally have that one good run, kill one or two bosses, and then you die, and you go back kind of to the beginning, even though you do get permanent upgrades the longer you go. So you get a hook shot, you get the ability to walk through difficult terrain, you get the ability to swim, which I haven't gotten yet. I am on the 5th level. There's 6 levels, so the way it's broken down is the game is in 2 acts, and kind of the whole thing about returning. You think you beat the game, but you really just beat Act 1, and then you live a long life, and you die as an elderly person, and when you wake up, you're back. Which is funny, because every time you die, you wake up. And even though you think you escape, you really don't, because you got to break the cycle. There's something in this world that is bringing you back. And that's where I'm at right now. So I just had another good run end in sadness. I was about to break through World 5 and finally get to World 6, but hey, keep plugging at it. And the nice thing about this game, and also the bad thing, is that it's very vague what things do. So your integrity is your health. Protection is your defense. Your repair proficiency is how much health healing items give you. So if you don't know what these things mean, it's kind of like, well, why would I spend the obolites, which are the little yellow crystals that you get after you kill stuff? Why would you spend it on one thing versus the other? And that in and itself, the way the obolites are, is this game is so much about putting distance between you and the enemies that it's hard to collect those. Because you'll kill something, they rain all these obolites, but you have all these other enemies running around you. The last thing you're thinking about is going and collecting the materials they drop, which are weighted, so if they die over cliffs, sometimes they will be attracted to you. You can get augments that will attract them to you, but it's really not a great system. But I don't think it's really what you're focused on, because each run is different. You can get these parasites you can attach to your body, which give you different augments. There's artifacts you can find, and then there's single-use consumables. You originally start with 1 slot. You can eventually open it up to 3 slots, and it's just fun. Sometimes not knowing what the items do is a good thing, because early on in the game, I found a astronaut figure after you visited this 19th century home thing, which is kind of like your home back on Earth, but anyways, why is it on the planet? Who knows? Craziness. Returnal. So I got this figure, and it just says it doesn't want to let you go. I had no idea what it did. So I got to the boss of World 1, having a full-out freaking fight. It has 3 phases, very similar to Furi, and I died on the last phase. I'm so bummed. I'm like, damn it. And then, bam, I come back to life. Holy crap, that's what the astronaut did. And things like that, where the game doesn't tell you what things do, and then you realize as you're doing it, holy crap. Like, there's also something that brings you back to life that you have to power with ether. Ether is this purple residue stuff that you'll find, and it allows you to cleanse malignant things. As there's things you can find on the worlds that will harm you, give you these things where it's like, oh, you'll take damage from fall damage now until you kill 2 enemies with melee attacks, or things of that nature. So it's all the constant balance of risk-reward, focusing on the integrity, grabbing the obolites, making sure you have enough consumables to persist, not losing all of your health and dying immediately, but also not wasting consumables when you can go off and you can get more health. And it's just a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. It is difficult, and the biggest complaint here is that, man, I wish this was on the PS4, because this game should have been a lot bigger than it was. It's a really strong, ingenious IP that hits on that roguelike, kind of like Hades did. Like, Hades was not an easy game, but it had that roguelike feel. Unlike Hades, though, there's really not much permanent progression you get in this, and it is very, very disheartening when you have a good run that ends in misery, and then you feel like you're back at square one, and it's just like right now, I'm kind of at that where I have to go through World 4 to get back to World 5 because I'm at the halfway point, and then World 5 is so pound you down, and you know you get reliant on certain weapons, and then you're hesitant to move to other ones, and it's just it's how these games go, though. It's how these games go. Thoroughly enjoying it. Very much my game of the year from last year. I like this more than Metroid Dread. It's so fun, and just the animations, the way it plays, the smoothness, the fluidity. And there's also a co-op mode they just added, which I'd like to check out one of these days. So Returnal, haven't beaten it yet. I should be getting it down here soon. Big recommendation. If you get a PS5, if you can find one, which seems like people are finding them now. Maybe we're finally getting to that critical mass where people are going to start having them. Day one pickup, in my opinion. Just know what you're getting into. It is a grind. It's a grind, but then you'll get big progress. So I literally beat the first and second world bosses on the same run, died, got to the third world boss, and then I got all the way to the fourth world boss, died, got to him again, got to the fifth world, and that's where I'm at right now. Probably about 16 hours in. So yeah, big recommendation, Returnal. Pick it up and play it. That's your homework. So nice getting hold of you guys. Take care.